Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleHorror.
All right. Greetings, viewers and listeners. Meathook Jim here with the WrestleHorror podcast. My co-host, as always, couldn't do it without him. Donnie, what's going on, man?
Oh man, way too much. So more things to do than time in the day.
I was going to say this is the busy time of year.
Yep.
We got haunts going, we've got wrestling going, we got a lot of things going on. So the shows might be a little sporadic, but we're going to get them out to you. And so far, we're just a week into October, and things are going crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we've gotten into a thing where we've missed a week here and there with the WrestleHorror podcast, but it's not intentional. It's because there's just so much going on, and it's all good stuff going on. So we'll get back on track here once we can get all of our ducks in a row. A lot of stuff coming down the road. A lot of changes are going to be made. But as for right now, a lot of stuff gets put on the back burner after Zucchini Fest with the wrestling, because after New Zucchini Fest is pretty much haunt season, and then we got to do our haunt season. We can't pass that up. So
Absolutely not. WrestleHorror. We got to get the haunt part in there, and definitely. And I will be going out at least once in costume.
Mm-hmm.
And you know wwhere that'll be.
Oh yeah, yep, up at the Carnage, and maybe the Carnage, and then we're definitely going back to the Obet's Haunt. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, the haunt season's in full swing. And as everybody knows, I work with Carnage, and with the scarefactor.com as of current time, we're ranked 8th in the country with the Carnage Haunted House. So it's a status that we're proud of. There's still a lot of haunt season left, so that could change. We could go, up or down in the rankings, but right now we're the ranked 8th in the entire country. So, things are going good. It was a ridiculously crazy weekend. I got bruises all over my body. I'm exhausted. Now that I've turned that big 5-0, things just don't seem to work like they used to. And I used to say normally I do zone captain at Carnage, but but the guy that runs we have a big snake. The guy that runs our snake couldn't make it, so I covered for him. And of course, I can't just sit there and just push a button, push a snake out, and raw. That's it. I gotta be extra. So I would run the snake and get the scare with the snake. And then all of a sudden I would just come like bursting out as fast as I could of this big giant cloud of fog and smoke, grunting and growling and snarling and slamming into the wall if there wasn't nobody in the way. And I mean, I had people dropping like flies and freaking out, and it was awesome, but God, I'm tired. So we did that Friday night. I worked all day Friday at my day job. Then I did Carnage and, ran my ass off and, did all that stuff. Then got to bed probably about 2:30 in the morning, and then back up at 7 in the morning because we had WrestleFit. So, me and Superman Onyx, everybody knows Superman Onyx works at Carnage with me. So we were back in at the training center, 8 in the morning for our class. And, of course, I'm the one that has to work out. He just tells me what to do and stands there. So he worked our butts out again. So I did that, and I came home, watched a little bit of the Buckeye game, took a power nap, and then got back up, and I did it again last night, and slept till about 1 o'clock today. It's like, and then you messaged us like, we should probably do a podcast today, you think? I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
I was disappointed this weekend because I would have gone out and haunted because there was need for my talents. Unfortunately, I do suffer from asthma, and on Friday I had the worst asthma attack I've had since I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to stay home and take breathing treatments and use my inhaler, and that pretty much went on for most of the weekend. I'm back to about 80% capacity, which means I'm recovering from it. And tomorrow I'm hoping to be at full 100%.
That's good.
Still carrying my inhalers, but I was disappointed that I couldn't participate in what was going on, but I'm happy to hear that things went well.
Yeah. So we had a good weekend. I wasn't at opening weekend last weekend, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But so this was my actual first full weekend, and our second full weekend. So it was 2 weekends ago I went in there. So it was my second full weekend, and yeah, it went good. We had a good turnout. We had, there wasn't a lot of, how, like in some haunts you can get some trouble. You get a bunch of teenage kids, all together in a group standing in a queue line. Sometimes things can happen, and childishness and ignorance can happen. So we really didn't have much of any of that at all. Everybody there, we had a bunch of reviewers come through. All of them got we got great reviews. Which I'm trying to think. We had people from Florida come up for the haunt. We've had people from Canada come down for the haunt. Other states, they've stopped by. We had a group last night. They were from India. It was a mom, dad, and a daughter. They were in the United States from India, and wanted to stop in at our haunt. So they came in and absolutely loved it. They was talking up and down about it, how great it was. So I mean, we're getting some attention from all over, and it's pretty exciting. But it's also puts the pressure on us. We can't let up. We got to stay on our game and give 110. If we're going to be drawing in this kind of notoriety and this kind of recognition and getting turning heads like we're doing.
Yeah, that's definitely not a time where you want to rest on your laurels. You got to keep pushing forward and give everybody the show they want to see. But having that kind of recognition is amazing, and that's great for you guys.
Oh yeah. Actually, we're pretty proud of it. Me and Mike and Andrew, they taken this thing and ran with it, and doing great, and it's growing. We brought on a lot of good people, a lot of talented people, and still looking for more. So if there's any actors out there that want to come work with us at Carnage, get a hold of Carnage or Mia or somebody, and or Andrew, and we're definitely looking, because we're actually going to be adding a third haunt either next year or the year after, because we got two right now, and we're going to be adding a third. So we're going to need more actors, and we're just going to keep growing and getting bigger and better. So yeah, it's exciting to watch them progress. Me being a business owner myself with the wrestling and the training center and all that, and then helping them, grow their business as well. And then Mia comes, and they, like some of the haunters come and help with the wrestling shows on show days. So it's like a group effort to pick each other's company up and try to make it better. So it's exciting to see their success and watch it grow like it is.
Well, it shows you the solid combination of WrestleHorror.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, we can't preach it enough, can we?
No, it's your brainchild. I will never take credit for it.
Oh,
But
we're both developing it.
well, but we're developing it. It was your idea initially, but I'm saying we're both developing it, and WrestleHorror is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger as we go along. I mean, we've got the haunt, we've got pro wrestling. I'd like to see a pro wrestling match with haunt characters.
Oh yeah, and that's actually been talked about quite a few times. If you remember, back before COVID, the Ohio Hunters and Halloween convention, we were going to, when we did it at Mansfield, we were supposed to return the following year, and that was the year of COVID. And we had talked to the Ohio Hunters Association members that were running it about doing a horror themed wrestling show. And again, COVID stepped in the way of that. And so that's kind of off the burner for now, but it has been talked about. And actually me and Mia's mentioned it. We've talked about doing something like that, being kind of fun. And I've also had conversations with other groups too, and other people that think a horror themed haunt or a horror themed wrestling show would be fun. And me, I'm all about it. I'll be ready for it. So but yeah, like I said, something like that, or you never know, the new wrestling promotion called WrestleHorror may just appear. You never know.
What about doing a show out in the parking lot of Carnage?
That has been talked about.
Okay.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure that we could make it happen pretty easily. It's just getting the demographics up and getting everything set and the ducks in a row, and making sure weather permitting, and it'd have to be earlier in the season, because toward the end of October it gets pretty cold, and you ain't gonna have people standing around watching wrestling in 30-40 degrees. So but yeah, I mean, that's definitely possible, and it has been talked about.
Okay, cool. So this is new to me. I'm glad you told me about that, because
Oh yeah. Yeah, as I said, we've been so busy, we haven't had a lot of time to chat, So,
both of us, with our own adventures, Donnie with your stuff, and
mhm.
and me with the other podcast, and with Maul and everything.
Yeah, and your paranormal stuff, and
I'm still going through footage. Holy,
Right.
I had to set up a station just to go through footage.
Have you found anything good yet that you haven't already seen, or
If trust me, if I had found it, it had been already been posted.
right? You've been shouting out to the world.
Oh yes, but it's coming. I've got it set up now where Chris and I can both review it.
Mhm.
If I don't have time to do it, she can sit down and review some of it. And once we spot the points, we can export those videos, drop them into my computer, and I will post them online post haste.
Right. Yeah.
People to see this shit because I've seen it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Like I said, I wasn't able to make it there in person, but I'm ready to see what you guys found. And then I'm definitely going to make plans, to for you to make a return trip there and for me to make my initial trip there. So that
Oh,
I feel left out.
on top of that, I've still got to go through audio because we did audio sessions,
Mhm.
P sessions that I still have to go through. And quite frankly, I think we're going to find something because my recorder that I was using is my Zoom H8, and it's got the meters that bounce with sound. And there were times when we would ask questions and there was silence and my meters are bouncing.
Right.
That means something's responding.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to listen to that. I've also got some video from the handheld cameras that Shauna Reed kept taking that the batteries kept dying within 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes within a minute.
Right.
So I don't know how much video is there, but there's going to be some video there.
Yeah.
Plus, we've got other audio recorders that have audio that we haven't reviewed. You would not believe how much shit it's going to take me months to get through all this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you never know. That could be worth it. You find that one little nugget of gold.
And it will be worth it. I know it will be, but you're talking, I had 7 cameras running at about 10 hours per camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of footage.
Yeah, for one person to go through. Yep.
When you're sitting at it and watching it, and you start doing this.
Yeah, start dozing off. You'll doze off right when something big happens and you'll miss it.
That's when you got to stop because you'll miss something.
All right.
But I'm trying my best to get through it. And that's why I set it up so Chris could review some of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And make notes and everything and pull that video off and hopefully get it up as soon as we can.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And
Seeing what we can find on it.
I will tell you that the plans for next year are a little closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
We are planning on doing Waverly Hills Sanatorium in
Nice.
Louisville, Kentucky. And it's going to run about the same amount of money. We're going to have a few more people with us.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look and see when we can book it and see if I can get it booked ahead of time.
For sure.
But definitely, and everybody's, Shauna is already like, when are we doing our next adventure? And I said, Waverly Hills. And she goes, cool.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sound like you hooked her on she's in again, huh?
Oh, she's hooked. She's hooked. Plus, she can go work OVW the next day.
Right. Yeah. Just make a weekend out of it. Do a haunt wrestling loop or horror and wrestling loop.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, like I said, the Carnage thing is up and running. Everything's firing on all cylinders. We're having a great season so far, and just expect that the closer to Halloween you get, the better, the more and more people you get, and the busier it gets. So we're excited for that. And and then once again, speaking of haunt season, on top of Carnage, we're going back to the Obet's haunt again this year.
Yes.
Yep, they called us back and we're doing the same thing. It's a free haunt. It's one day only on a Friday night, October 28th at Obet's Fortress. They're going to have candy. They'll have food trucks, I'm assuming. They're going to be playing horror movies on the big TV in the parking lot. They're going to have, all kind of activities. And we're not doing the haunt underneath the bleachers like we did last year. This time it's out in the woods, and it's going to be a hayride theme. So we're going to have 2 hay rides going, two hay, tractors and trailers, and we're going to load a group up and run them through. once that one gets halfway, we're going to load the next group up, run them through, and just keep 2 tractors continuously going through the night. I think we're going to do about 4 hours. So like 6 to 10, I believe is what they got it set at. And and like I said, the haunt's free, and the food trucks ain't free. Obviously, they got to make their money. The food truck people got to make their money, but the haunt's free. The candy that the city of Obetz passes out will be free, and it's going to be a great night. Looking forward to it. And I say I've worked out in the woods when we owned a trail, obviously, and I've worked indoor haunts, but I've never done a hayride, so it's going to be a new experience for me, and it's going to be fun for me to try to figure out the best way to get it, the best scare on everybody. So I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it.
The hay rides can be fun because you can jump up on the cart with people. Rumor has it there's Bigfoots out in the wood there.
Yeah, there's been sightings. So yeah, we just got to keep our eyes open. I've been out in there a couple of times, and I have heard strange noises already. And that's during the day. I haven't been out there during the night yet.
Heard some tree knocking?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's usually a sign of Bigfoot. Bigfoots do tree knocking to communicate.
Yeah, so I said I was nervous. I got out of there and went back out to the open field. I was like, all right, I've been in here enough. I'm going out. So,
well, that's exciting too, because as most people know, I'm at least semi-retired. And if I come out for anything, it's going to be for Donnie and the Obetz haunt.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
So yeah, I'll be there.
Right. Be out there doing what you do, huh?
I'll dust off some moldy old costume and jump off on the cart and scare people,
There you go.
What the heck?
We'll just put you on the cart and just pile a little bit of hay over top of you. That way, when the first person comes up and sits on your belly, you can just jump up at them. And then we'll have an ambulance on by for the heart attack that ensues.
That would be fun, but this is going to be interesting with the hayride instead of under the bleachers.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be a new adventure for them. It's something they just wanted to try out. And so we're going to give it a go. I mean, they got a nice little section of woods and stuff, so why not utilize it,
I guess this would be easier than all the construction, and I'm not downing anything. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think mixing it up is a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, last year was definitely a challenge because we only had a month, because they don't even focus on this until after Zucchini Fest, and everybody knows that's the first weekend of September. So they do that, and then they take a week off to recover, because Zucchini Fest is a huge undertaking in its own right. And then once they take their week off to regroup, then it goes into start haunt season. So they got to figure out, do all the paperwork, figure out what they want to do. Then they reach out to us, we come to an agreement, and then it's, so we basically have literally like 4 weeks ish normally to do stuff. And, but last year, under the bleachers, I mean, it was successful. It looked great. We pulled it off. But it was right. Yeah. But it was a real challenge because, there was still soccer practice at night. There were still, football games at night. And, we're underneath the main bleachers trying to put this haunt together. And all these people were walking through, walking by the haunt and in between the haunt to get to the bleachers. And, and then, of course, kids will be kids, which if I was a kid, I'd do it too, would sneak underneath and try to get inside the haunt and see what was in there. So, I mean, yeah, it was challenging, time restraints and this and that, things we could and couldn't do because of certain events. So this way it kind of opens it up. We're out in the woods, we're away from everybody. There's nothing going on out that way, so we got pretty much free reign. So it'll, like I said, it won't be as elaborate and as detailed, but it's going to be good because it's in the woods. And me, I love anything that's in the woods. So
being in the woods gives you so many opportunities to scare.
Yep, for sure.
What's behind the next tree or bush?
Yep. Absolutely.
And as we mentioned, there's Bigfoot out there, so you never know.
Yep. So like I said, if you hear that tree knocking, be on high alert.
I would be.
All right. So yeah, but and like I said, and even last night when I was at Carnage, I would go up to the merch booth because Mia was at the merch booth, it's almost shutdown time. So she was closing out the register and all that. And she has a bulletin board with other haunts pinned up on it. And she had, I'd posted about us being back at the Obet's haunt on the 28th, which obviously means I'm not going to be working at Carthage the 28th.
Right.
And she had taken that picture of the graphic and she has it printed off and posted on her bulletin board at Carnage, promoting the Obet's haunt already. And she told me if I had flyers just to bring them to her and set them on the counter, which, is great. And it just brings me to a great point about haunting and wrestling. If you're wrestling promotions, your haunt promotions, don't be dicks and, try to fight each other like it's some kind of big competition. Work together, build each other's businesses up, work together, cooperate. It ain't going to do nothing but help. And just like, I said with the wrestling and the horror, they're the haunt side, but we're the wrestling side. They came to the Arnold. We had what, 15 haunters at the Arnold passing out stuff for us, helping out. I mean, we had a crap ton of haunters show up to help out with the Arnold wrestling. It had nothing to do with haunted houses, and then the same with us. We bring wrestlers that come help act. And we promote, like when we do the Zucchini Fest or any of the Obet shows in the Arnold, we're always promoting Carnage and getting the word out about the Carnage haunt. I mean, work together, build each other up. Don't try to tear each other down. That's just stupid. And like I said, Mia and them are just prime examples. She didn't have to put up the ad for the Obet's haunt for the one night free haunt, but she did because she knew it would help us, and vice versa. We do the same for her to help her. So, I mean, work together, for crying out loud.
That's something I've been preaching as long as I've been working in the haunt business. Work together.
Yeah.
You gain nothing by working against one another. Nothing. You lose by working against one another.
Right. Yeah. Trying to sabotage each other. It's, it just gets into a one-up game. Who can screw each other the most, the biggest, and it just goes nowhere but down.
And some of the biggest haunts in the country in the past are guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them I know, and I have either been through or worked for.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who they are.
Oh yeah.
Since then, things have changed, but back then, it was ridiculous to me. Why be against one another?
All right. Yeah. And that's why I got the utmost respect for me and them and Carnage as a whole. And because like I said, even the actors of Carnage, they're paying attention to the wrestling and they'll like our comments and they'll share our stuff. And just like we share all the haunt stuff, and it's just like two groups working together, trying to build each other up for the greater good, of entertainment. So, kudos to them. I got the utmost respect for them. And, as always, I'll do anything I can to help them out. And I'm sure they'll do the same in return. Just like Mia, she's the owner of the haunt and she'll just reach out like, when's our next wrestling show? I'm ready to get in there and do whatever you need me to do. And she's like all in it. So it's just great to see.
It is. It is. And, it's not just Mia, but there's other people that work at the haunt. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I got to give kudos to Melanie. I mean, she wasn't a big wrestling fan, but she embraced it, and Jenny likes it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They both love to help out. And what's his name? I'm sorry, I can't. Andrew, is it Andrew?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Andrew likes to help whenever he can.
Yeah.
And there's so many people from Carnage that are willing to chip in, just if for nothing else, just to help.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Mel actually, she talks to like every time we're at Carnage, and she's like, when's the next wrestling thing? Don't forget to text me and remind me so I can take off of work. And I mean, yeah, she's been to a lot of them, if not all of them, since we've started this. So and she was there the whole weekend of the Arnold, and so yeah, a lot of people stepping up and helping out, and it's greatly appreciated because it takes some of the pressure off of us. And so I enjoy, and like I said, the Carnage gives me a place to play. And so I go in there and do what I can to help them out, to help them grow, because, it benefits them and it benefits us, It's a win-win.
And Mia is our timekeeper.
Yeah. Yeah. The timekeeper, we're teaching her how to do the music once we can figure out how to get the music hooked up right. It's like, once I get that figured out.
Yeah, about that. No.
Yeah. Once I get that figured out and we get her taught on that, which she already knows how to do it pretty much. We just got to get the setup right. And
see, what I didn't understand, what I didn't understand is why they had to be on the PA.
I don't know. That's just how we set it up. I ain't gonna make no excuses. I don't know. That's just how I had it set up. It was
we had it before. It was perfect.
All right. Yeah.
And I
So,
don't have a problem bringing my mixer board if that's what it takes. I mean,
right. Yeah, actually, I got that Roadcaster too. I just got to figure out how to use the daggone thing. And I had it at the wrestling show. It was in its box in the trailer. I didn't go get it, and I was running around like a crazy person. And but we'll get it all figured out, and we'll have it all in, and then we'll
they didn't need to be plugged into that thing at all. Into the speaker. There
right.
was absolutely no reason for them to be plugged into the speaker. None.
Mhm. Yep. So we'll get her figured out. So,
Check with Mia about another powered speaker.
yeah, she said she's got some. I just have to get with her and get one.
All right, that's
But I,
business for later.
yep, yep, business for later.
Went on a tangent. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Still trying to get everything out of the week from the weekend out of me. So
Oh yeah. So once again, haunt season's in full swing. It's going great. I'm already feeling the effects of it, so I'm gonna hate to see how I feel in another 4 weeks. But I'm all for it. I'll do it as long as I can for sure.
let me tell you, the next 4 weeks you are going to hate.
I'm gonna hate it and then love it at the same time, I think.
Only thing that makes worthwhile is when somebody screams.
I had a bunch of those. I have to tell you this. I'll tell everybody. I had this best improv scare that I've ever created, because I'll admit I'm not as creative as a lot of you haunters out there. I mean, I'm good at like grunting and growling and being intimidating, because that's pretty much that's my wrestling character. But so I just incorporate that into a horror character. But as for improv and stuff like that, I'm not the best at. So I try to do my best. But I had this group come by. It was three teenage girls, like maybe 18ish, and and one of their dads. It was a dad and three girls. So I do the snake. They jump and scream. I pin them against the wall. I pull the snake back, and I come busting out through the smoke. They freak out and scream. They start running. I sneak up around them, and I scare them. And when you go around the little curve, you're basically in the cemetery. So there's a big tomb right there, like in New Orleans. It's a New Orleans setting.
Right.
So they all three ended up huddled down in balls on the floor in this corner, like basically piled on top of each other. So normally I just like grunt and growl and snarl, but for some reason I ended up getting on the ground beside him and curling up in a ball beside him. And the dad was pissing his pants. He was laughing so hard. These three teenage girls are screaming bloody murder, like somebody's killing them. And I'm just laying up in this ball, just grunting and snorting, curled up in a ball, like right beside them on the ground.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I have no idea why I did it, but it just added to it, because they seen me laying beside them and they were just shitting their pants even more, because I was just laying there.
Oh, that is awesome, Donnie. That is phenomenal. I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, their dad enjoyed it, because I mean, I swear if he didn't dribble in his underwear a little bit, he was laughing so hard. I'd be surprised. But
Oh my gosh, that is great. I love it.
but then the bad thing about it is, because from the night before and then WrestleFit that's yesterday morning, I couldn't get back up. So they got up and started running, and I'm sitting there, oh God, I'm like grabbing onto the gate, grabbing onto whatever I could to get back off the ground.
I know that feeling.
Yeah. But I was pretty proud of that one, because I mean, that's probably and I didn't do it to the point of terrorizing them. If I would have started terrorizing them, I would have backed off.
Not me.
But I mean, they were like, I mean, it was a scare. They were scared, but it was a fun scare, you could tell. And but once they got up and took off and all that, like the dad was just dying. He couldn't hardly keep up with him because he was laughing so hard. So, but yeah, that was probably one of my better ones that I've improved and just done something stupid for no reason.
I generally go to the point of catatonia
Mm-hmm.
if I can.
Yeah, well, I backed off once last night, but it was because of a little boy. I mean, he was probably like 8 or 9. He was 8 or 9 years old, and he was crying, and you can tell he was terrified. So I just kind of, when I came out of the smoke and seen him, I just kind of slowly backed up back into the smoke and got out of the way.
I agree that that's not fair to the child.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't ask to come through.
Yeah. But the teenage girls, I wasn't letting up. I was letting them have it. But yeah, their dad was just loving it. So I'm pretty sure I made his night.
That I have to do this. I have to do this to you, Donnie. That is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And that, what can I say? That is great, dude.
Yeah, after I got done, I was just like, I can't believe I just did that. That was pretty awesome. I was like,
So that is something that not a lot of people do.
mhm.
You have all three of them curled up in a ball and you go down there with them.
Yeah, just go down and lay beside them. And I tried to curl up to look just like they were looking, like how they were curled up. I was trying to mimic how they looked. And but yeah, it was great.
Well, I told you the story about when Brett scared that girl so bad she had to go away in an ambulance.
Yeah.
I had to pull him off of her. He would not stop.
Right.
I had to grab him, say, stop it now, or there's going to be problems. And he finally let it go.
Yeah.
But kudos to him for being fierce.
Mhm.
But you got to stop when they go catatonic.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I said, I mean, and these girls, they were obviously weren't even close to that because, like I said, they were still screaming and clawing, trying to get over top each other to get up, and so it was fun. Like I said, that was one of my prouder ones. I'm usually not that not that creative. I'll just usually do my normal scares, and then which I do good at scaring people, but I don't do like a lot of different stuff. So I was pretty proud of myself for being creative for once and improving, at the moment when I had them down.
I'm proud of you too. And Donnie, anytime you want to talk improv, I'll be happy to.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I say, I'm getting better every year. I'm saying I do my job pretty good, but I could be a lot better.
If you want any advice or some pointers on improv, just let me know. I mean, I'll be happy to help you out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I appreciate it.
Just thinking outside the box, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But that, dude, I'm still in awe. Great.
Oh yeah. I wish they had like some kind of camera up, where they film certain sections of the haunt.
Right.
Because I'd have loved to have had that on film because I knew it just looked friggin' fantastic.
Wish I could have seen that. Ooh, that's an idea.
Mhm.
Maybe we should talk to Mia about this. Take one of my night vision cameras,
Mhm.
walk through the haunt.
Oh, I'm sure she'd be up for it for sure. Mhm. Yep. There you go.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, said I'm sure she'd be open for it. Like I said, she likes outside the box thinking as well. So
I'll talk to her.
there you go.
I like Mia. She's good people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what else have we got on the agenda?
Well, wrestling wise, I mean that's enough for the haunt stuff. We got, like I said, the next 4 weeks or so is going to be chaos. So,
Right.
But on December 3rd, New Ohio Wrestling's back in action, and we're actually doing a fundraiser for the Whitehall Athletic Boosters and the middle school wrestling team in particular. But the athletic director reached out to us, and we had tried this before. We had one planned before, and she wanted to reschedule it because we didn't have enough time to get the proper marketing and stuff out. So we rescheduled it for December 3rd. And so we got that happening in Whitehall, and we'll be, giving out more information here in the next coming weeks about that. And so we're looking forward to that. We got a lot of cool things planned for that. And it's for a good cause, for the Whitehall kids. It's for the middle schools, the athletics. So, come out and support that and help the athletic boosters be able to provide for these kids and, get them out there doing physical stuff and out from off the couch behind the TV screens.
Isn't that where Eric Smalls is from?
Yeah, he's from Whitehall, and he's actually a one of the middle schools. He's the assistant wrestling coach because he actually has a wrestling background that people might not know about.
Wow.
Besides pro wrestling, he actually went through high school wrestling and all that kind of stuff. So he has that kind of background, and he's an assistant coach at one of the Whitehall middle schools for the kids.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and like I said, it's exciting to help these kids out. He puts in his time helping them out. So figured, why not us? We should do the same.
Sure. That's awesome. So that's about it for the for New Ohio Wrestling for the end of the year.
Yeah, we're got that on the dock, and then after that, we're just focused on the Arnold since it's such a big event, it's such a big undertaking. We're just going to be focused on that, and we got some good stuff planned. We got some unique ideas that are on the table. Nothing's came to fruition as 100% yet, but we're looking at those options, and if they come to pass, it could be pretty exciting. So we will see how that goes. But yeah, as for right now, we've got December 3rd in Whitehall, which is basically Columbus, as you know, if you're not from the area.
Right.
And then then it's on to the Arnold first weekend of March.
Well, me being down in the Cincinnati area, I'm not quite done with wrestling after your show.
Yeah.
Which like I told you, I was going to get my tux dry clean before I come to, because it's got dog hair all over it.
All right.
And I have to look my best when I work for you. You know that.
There you go.
But after that, I've got 2 more shows to do. And Denim, I'm going to charge you sponsorship fees if I do this again.
Right. This is your freebie.
This is the freebie. I also work for Battle on the Border as a commentator. Yeah, me, a commentator. How about that, huh?
Right.
I'm still working on it. Don't judge me. But anyway, we've got shows December 17th. That is TBD as far as the location. And then I heard we've got a show on December 31st on New Year's Eve, but you'll have to keep an eye on their page to find out more about that information. Battle on the Border, facebook.com.
Now, does that come with a free glass of champagne for every ticket sold?
You might want to take that up with Denim. I'm giving Denim his freebie. Remember this, Denim. I'll send you a link to this.
Right, there you go.
I trust me, I will. As soon as Donnie posts it, I'm gonna send you a link.
There you go.
So that'll be it for me for the end of the year. But I guess I'll be working until the New Year Day. So
there you go. Nothing wrong with that at all.
As long as the pay's there, the champagne's flowing, I'll be good.
There you go. Yeah, they got the champagne flowing. You can't really much you can complain about, is there?
And an Uber home.
Right.
Oof, from there that'd be expensive.
Yep.
It's down in Cleves.
Mm-hmm.
Like 20 miles at least from me.
Right.
That'd be a little bit expensive.
Yeah, that'd be quite a haul.
It's okay, Denim can handle it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know when we went to Orlando for that convention.
Yes, yeah.
And just a taxi from the airport to our hotel, which was like a 20-minute drive, was like $80-something.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd say a 20-mile haul would be quite expensive.
You took a taxi?
Yeah, that was the only thing they had at the time. So
no Ubers?
No. The most recent one was like a half an hour out because they were also booked up because everybody arrived at once, it seemed like.
So the hotel didn't have a van?
No. Well, no, yeah, not for that far, no. So, like I said, we were like 20 minutes away. We were over by Disney, and I know Disney has shuttles from the airport to Disney, but.
Did you fly into Orlando or to Sanford?
Orlando, MCO.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we just jumped in a taxi because there was 2 or 3 of them sitting there, and nobody was in line. We just said screw it, because we was wanting to get into the hotel and get packed and unpacked and get settled in, because we was up early for the flight, and and we knew we had 2 days of R&R to do whatever, and then it was 5 days of chaos. So we just wanted to get there and get settled in. Speaking of though. Just to mention, the reason I wasn't with you guys on the Conjuring trip, we've mentioned briefly and all this and that, was, me and Terry paid a good amount of money for this convention that it's a marketing and business convention called Funnel Hacking Live. And it was quite expensive trip for us, but it was worth it because, it was a business trip to promote all of the businesses we're involved in. And we learned a ton of good stuff. We have a lot of great ideas. The website software that we currently use had been completely upgraded, and it got relaunched at this convention. So our new web design software is out. Our new marketing software is out. We're super pumped on using it. So basically, on top of everything else we got going on, I'm now tasked with revamping all of our websites, which means the WrestleHorror website, which means the New Ohio Wrestling website, which means the WrestleFit Training Center website, which means all the other websites for WrestleFit, WrestleFit Junior, the Pro Wrestling Academy training website, like all this stuff that we have is getting revamped and in a good way. And so look for that down the road. We're going to have a new WrestleHorror website. We're going to be upping our YouTube channel. So I've had a lot of great insight, a lot of great training on YouTube. So we're redoing YouTube channels for all the businesses, and
Cool.
so there's a lot of work to be done, and not enough time in the day, and not enough people to do the jobs. So, if it's in our laps, then we're just going to take it and go with it. And so this was eye opening for Terry, because she knows what I do, like the marketing and online internet marketing stuff. She knows that I did it, and who they were, but she was never really into it until she went to this convention. And I mean, we had great speakers, like I said before, we had Marcus Lemonis, Ed Milet, Jenna Kutcher, just tons of great people. And we learned a lot, and that's kind of like got her hooked on it now. So now she sees where I want to take everything, and she's bought in. So she's been learning it too.
Okay.
And so, that was the reason why we had to back out of the Conjuring, because this trip was so expensive, but it's going to be well worth it. And we're going to recoup our investment. Yeah, we got your Salem shirt on. So we're going to recoup our investment for sure with what we gained in knowledge. But so yeah, that's another thing that's coming up on the horizon. You'll start seeing some new things happening with the YouTube channels and the social media channels. You're going to see some new website stuff coming out, and the websites are going to start looking different and have different functionalities. And with being there and brainstorming with all these people, and we've also come up with a lot of neat ideas that we're looking into doing, being like online courses, just like we still have our Wrestling with Your Characters online course. That helped, that trip helped clear the path of what I envisioned for that. So we still have that to do, and a lot of wrestling courses I've come up with, haunt courses, training courses with Superman Onyx. And so yeah, I mean, like a ton of stuff came out of it. And it was well worth, sacrificing the Conjuring for this year to be able to do it again next, some other year, to learn what we learned. And it's going to benefit us all. And I'm even going to take what I learned, and I'm going to help Carnage. I'm going to implement some stuff with Carnage and help them out as well. So it's exciting where we're going. And, this is another reason why, there's no excuse why we've skipped episodes, but just know we haven't been just sitting on our asses watching TV or sleeping. We've actually been just bootstrapped for time. Just too many things to do and not enough time to do it.
Right.
But yeah, there's some good things coming. And so we're excited for where WrestleHorror and the WrestleFit Training Center, New Ohio Wrestling, Carnage, we're excited where everything's heading.
It's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to seeing and seeing a lot of these new implementations.
Mhm.
I know you've talked highly about this conference, and it really had to be important if you gave up the Conjuring trip.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I was looking forward to that Conjuring trip. I really wanted it. I still do really want it, and I'll
But
get it one of these days.
we're gonna get it. And then we're still gonna go to Salem afterwards because it's only an hour and a half away.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Um, but definitely because dude, you have to experience this house.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to me, what happened to Mikey,
Yeah.
the other that I've seen on camera that I'm waiting to find the footage. Dummy me, I should have been writing down the time, and I wasn't. I was too busy watching the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So now I gotta go find all that shit.
Right.
I mean, I know a basic time block, but still, it's going through all that footage.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's gonna take you a minute. So you ain't just gonna be sitting around either.
I'm gonna be doing this
you got
all winter.
Yeah, so you got shit to do. You got stuff to get done.
And I don't want to miss anything, so I can only do it in certain spurts, or else
Mhm.
it goes off.
Right. Yeah.
A whole
Yeah.
lot of nothing going on.
Yeah, you can only do it like so long, so many hours or minutes, then you got to take a break.
Yes, sir.
Or like you said, you'll just sit there and be watching it and just completely zoned out, thinking of something else, and you won't even register what you're seeing.
Exactly.
Like I do with driving. I'll drive a half an hour and be like, how the hell did I get here? You don't even remember.
There's been times I go to work in the morning. It's like, the fuck did I get here?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not even at work yet. I'm like on one of the side streets driving down there. It's like, damn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do that with Terry too. When we're driving, I'll just have so much stuff on my mind. I'll just completely zone out and I'll just miss our exit. And she'll be like, are you going to get off at this exit? And I'm like, no, we just passed it. So apparently not.
We're on autopilot.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, a lot of work and a lot of stuff to get done. And so we're going to, we need to also put in the effort to try to get back on this, weekly podcast train and get back on track. And so
that ain't gonna happen until after
we'll get one in here and there when we can, huh?
After October, we should be okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But we're both busy in October, so deal with it.
Yep, and it's going to be like that for the foreseeable future. Yeah,
but trust me, we'll always be here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, some of the wrestlers don't even ask anymore. Usually they're like, "Hey, you got anything coming up in October or November?" Or now they're just like, "I know haunt season, you're not doing nothing." So yeah, anything for November or December, and it's like, so at least I got them trained that way, so that's good. They know.
Well, I'm out of things to say.
Yeah, actually, I think we pretty much updated everybody on what's going on. Ain't really much more to say. More about shutting up and getting back to work. Pretty much.
This is true. I have to go cook dinner.
Oh, there you go.
But I've got garlic. I've got this these chicken breasts that are marinating in a garlic Parmesan sauce that I'm getting ready to grill with Asian rice and snow peas.
Nice. Sounds good as heck.
Yep. And Chris has to microwave hers because she won't be home until 10.
That sucks. Yeah, especially after haunting all night last night with us. Her and Shelby came down and came up and haunted with us, and then she had to get up and go to work today.
Yep, she had to be at work at 1:00 today. At least it wasn't 8:00 like on Saturday.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that was kind of me. We did the haunting Friday night, and then I was back up at 7 so we could do our WrestleFit training at 8:00 in the morning. So yeah, I feel her pain.
Honestly, Onyx was sitting there, his eyelids were closed, and he painted eyes on them.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, he's got his little boards, his little step boards, and they're probably about 3 or 4 feet tall, and he'll just stand them on in and he'll just lean on them. So it's probably just lean on, still sleep, and telling us, had a voice recorder just telling us to do exercises. So he ain't slick.
Wow, it's been an interesting start to the Halloween season. So
oh yeah,
stay tuned. We will be around. It's going to be a little sporadic, but we're going to try to make it at least once a week. If not, but if we don't crucify us. Not until November, okay?
Right. Yeah. Have a little leniency.
Right. Give us a break here. We're both busy this time of year.
Yep, for sure.
Now, for myself, Meathook, Jim, my co-host Donnie Hoover, this is the WrestleHorror Podcast. Thanks for watching and listening.
Yep. See you guys.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media outlets: Facebook.com/WrestleHorror, Instagram @WrestleHorror, Twitter @WrestleHorror, on YouTube at the WrestleHorror channel. And you can also find us on our website, www.WrestleHorror.com.